When you saw the wall, you knew you were home. So many things have been burned down, torn down, taken away. But that wall was always there at 12th and Chicon. And then we'd drive a little further and we'd see the pregnant woman. She was still there.
Our mural comes down, then the other mural comes down on the corner.
And people were angry.
The previous mural featured Black cultural icons, but was whitewashed
in May,
suggesting the mural was erased as an effort to gentrify this community.
And it caused quite a firestorm among neighbors and online.
It was a slap in the face.
It was heartbreaking.
It's bigger than just a wall.
I don't think the white person in America can feel what's going on in this city right here.
That was a visible example,
Evidence
of gentrification happening.
I didn't even know what gentrification meant.
When a bunch of white people moved to the ghetto and opened up a bunch of cupcake shops.
Sounds horrific.
Why do you want me to read this? When urban renewal of lower class neighborhoods with condos attracts yuppie tenants.
Yeah.
Driving up rents and driving out long-time lower income residents.
That's pretty much East Austin. If we could find a best practice to where nobody was displaced, no one was hurt, gentrification would not be a bad thing. But as it is, gentrification removed the African American community from that area and replaced it with another race.
My people not gonna be whitewashed out of this city.
Not just in the symbols, in reality in people's lives, gentrification is winning right now.
I mean, how do we stop this?
So is it not finished, or you just gonna keep, it's gonna be an ever-evolving issue?
Yeah, it's just gonna keep on going, man. It's like,
that's what I figured.
I mean, I got other things going on, but anytime I get some spare time.
The mural that I did on 12th and Chicon back in the end of 2013, you know, that was the first mural that I did when I moved here. And I did it for free when I was broke. The faces and the type of faces that you would normally see, they're not there anymore. The style of dress and even the music you hear playing on the block, like these are all things that bring you back to home base, that remind you of who you are. It's been gentrified, but what about the culture that's been there? What about the culture that has thrived there for well over, over a century, you know? Had to live there.
My family has been in this area from as far back as the 1830s, when they were slaves. So here's a plantation house. So your great-great-great-grandfather carried the cotton, corn, whatever was coming off the plantation. Yes?
Like, they had to pick cotton. They didn't get poked by the cotton.
Yeah, cotton pokes everybody. We were segregated to East Austin. My family and other families made it a beautiful, livable community. We took nothing and made it home. This community was built by African Americans. Faithful family people. Back in the day, I know is gone. And the big developers are coming in here and doing what they've done in every city that they've been in. For whatever reason, people have the right to sell, people have the right to buy. I happened to be selling my property.
No, I can't.
You know, change is not a bad thing.
And down the hill here was where my grandmother's house was.
But East Austin's a sacred place. And some of the developers, one in particular, is breaking in and causing destruction. Shortly before the 12th Street mural was painted over, Eureka had an artist paint over the Mama Sana mural.
E-N-I-Y-A-H. Naya, Naya, Naya. Naya, Naya, Naya. We over here, Paula. Over here.
Our mural was across the street from Chris's mural.
How you spell your name? E-N-I.
You know, it was 2012 by the time we made the mural. We knew that the neighborhood was changing, but it was something where we also knew that while the neighborhood's changing, there are still people here who are from this community and need pregnancy support.
Let's see. Let's give it to him. Let's give it to him. Yeah.
We had this idea of having kind of like a billboard that was in the part of town where those that we worked with lived, to let people know that we were there and that we were available.
You're doing good. All right. Okay. Bye. Bye.
We painted the mural on 12th and Chicon in the fall of 2012. Because there's so many challenges for Black women during pregnancy, we wanted to kind of flip that image into a positive, beautiful image, and she has love on her belly. The mural was taken down by May 10th of 2017. Eureka Holdings, that bought the building, had already hired an artist to paint over our mural. We had the muralist tell us, but when it actually happened, we were so devastated. Sorry, I don't want to do it. It represented the work of a lot of people for a lot of years. A vision of trying to create a more just and loving world. That's what we were building together over time. What happened with our mural was just a minuscule example of what's happening on a larger scale. When the money machines come in, poor and working class Black communities get pushed out.
They've been saying that they was gonna tear these down forever. They want to make it look like the apartments across the street, like stack us up on top of each other and stuff. So we'll eventually have to go.
It's happening, yet people just notice when a new hip like coffee shop opens up or a new store, boutique, or restaurant. That's what people see. So for the city as a whole, gentrification is invisible.
I opened Las Cruces on 12th and Chicon in May of 2017. I never gave moving to this location a second thought.
Aren't those so cute?
My plans for the store when we moved here was to redo the outside.
Do you not live in America? Okay.
Naively, I didn't realize how much people were attached to that mural.
That's what's up, man.
So I gave the green light to just go ahead and prime the wall and we can just get a new mural started. And that's where the misstep was.
This mural was different only because I literally saw it happening while it was happening. This wall was being painted completely white when it was so full of color. I was so overwhelmed. I was just like, they're painting over the mural. We have to do something. I can't say anything because I might punch this guy or something. So I'm just going to record from the car. When other people started trying to figure out who did what and who made the decisions, that was then kind of when it blew up on social media. Then it then got pointed back to us to, hey, what was your role in this?
Good morning. Yeah, that wall painted all white. You can see these messages on it. These are the ones that we're showing you that are safe for TV. There are some profane ones.
I didn't necessarily want to be engaged in it, just to be quite honest, but I understood that it related to the work that we do. Six Square was formed to preserve the cultural legacy of the African American community. And right in front of us, this mural has disappeared.
Breathe, smile, we're all happy.
Yeah. On behalf of Six Square and our board of directors, we have reached an agreement with those who are leasing the property here, the business owners. And one of those agreements included that Six Square would take conservatorship over the wall in question. Councilmember Ora Houston was very passionate that we have something up by Juneteenth so that as this parade goes by, that people would be encouraged and not incensed again.
We held so many community meetings.
This area is being whitewashed or it's been changed.
We wanted to hear from the people who were outraged and the business owner.
Are you gonna play some chess? Yeah. Awesome. I'm Veronica. What's your name? Nadia, nice to meet you. This is Sam.
I made it a point to go to all the community meetings. All my employees were at the meetings. We all collectively made it our responsibility to show up. To be told that you're trying to exclude like minorities, that just hits me really deep because I came from backgrounds like that, you know, like my parents aren't rich, my grandparents weren't rich. Like, I have built this business by hand and it just really hits close to home. At the same token, I understand and I validate those people's feelings. Given the history of this area, now I see clearly like why the anger and the hurt. Black faces are getting erased on this side of town.
It was a tipping point, and the community said, not another mural erase another cultural asset, another representation of who we are.
The community said they wanted Chris back on the wall. We gave the community what they wanted.
Hope is everything. Hope is everything. And as small as this opportunity to paint another mural was, it was done by the people. Like, people showed up and actually changed the tide of something.
When do you expect it to be ready?
Well, I'm projecting about a month. I mean, it's going to be pretty elaborate. It's just me working on it.
The response to Eureka and the painting over of the Mama Sana wall should have been just as great, if not greater.
I love that one more than this mural. I was just like, being a Black woman, being a Black mother, how did this even slip between our fingers?
I'm gonna start to pass out another color, which is for you to place yourself in this timeline. We wanna make sure that we find our place in this story as well. We wish we had said more at the time. We wish we had tried to fight the developer. But now we have a much larger group of pregnant families that we're taking care of every single day. And the guy that was running the corner store wasn't there anymore. It was now, you know, this new owner who we couldn't contact by phone even though we tried. And so where would we go stand, or who would we call out and try to hold accountable? We don't actually know who or how to do that.
Do you know Eureka is invisible to us? Do you know that, right? Who is Eureka?
Change is what Austin's been about from the 80s onward. The key is talking to the local residents, talking to the local, nonprofits, trying to bring everyone together. It wasn't like we just woke up and said we want to repaint a mural. We got the community input. We thought that was going to be looked upon favorably. Unfortunately, it didn't exactly turn out that way. So good intentions, bad outcome. That's the best way of describing it. A lot of people are fearful of maybe what we're going to do. We're interested in keeping Austin as close to what it was as before, and it's a lot of responsibility is what it is to do it right and to respect the legacy that's there.
Eureka Holdings ended up taking their own mural down and instead changing the facade of the wall, adding windows, and just painting it a neutral color. So a beautiful black pregnant woman was replaced by white fortune.
The enemy we can't see is bigger than the enemy that we can see.
In communities of color, you got to be fully transparent with us.
We know where Las Cruces is. We know who Veronica is. And the good thing is, Veronica responded.
It's really beautiful.
We are facing issues with gentrification and what that means, but the narrative doesn't have to be the same. While we have all the other bad stuff like developers, there's still this little corner that the community feels like represents them.
For us, it's heartbreaking what happened, but I think that it gave people a wake-up call. If we get stuck in the symbol only and fighting for the symbols versus fighting for the people, then we haven't taken advantage of what the moment gave us.
There needs to be some effort to stem the tide of displacements immediately.
We could use that organizing energy towards holding our city government accountable for allowing for that kind of just unlimited development in communities that displace people.
The only thing that's going to cut into the deep affordability crisis we have today is if a city builds affordable housing.
Something needs to be done now. We can't wait another 5-10 years.
I know eventually we're gonna have to leave the East Side. I know that, but I'm gonna be standing here till the time they make me pack my stuff and get up out of here. Say, I'm pretty, baby.
Tear down, rebuild as much as you want. Our souls, our spirits will always be there.